at Envirologix. We are specialists in GMO detection of corn and soy. And one of the tests that we built is for detecting Enogen corn. So I am the product manager for that test. I have a pretty unique perspective on how that market is developing, which I would like to share with you today. And the topic that I picked is why testing for Enogen has become the new norm at major corn processors. So for those of you who don't know about Enogen corn, it's a GMO corn which has a high level of alpha amylase. It's an enzyme that, it's similar to what's in our saliva. It, breaks down starch into smaller sugars. This was initially introduced mainly for the ethanol industry so that the corn could be converted into ethanol, and there was some cost and energy savings there. But what has changed in the last 5 years is that this has been increasingly been adopted for cattle feed market. And there have been claims about improved feed efficiency as well as reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. And it's really taken off. So the company that manufactures this is seeing double-digit growth for Enogen even into last year. What that means is that instead of the farms being centered around ethanol plants, it's now spread across all the corn growing regions in the US, and farms are now closer to the cattle growing areas. So the cross contact risk has really gone through the roof as a result. We see positive PCR results at our GMO lab. I've had demand for this test as far away as South and Central America. And then there's also plenty of bits in the news about farmers finding Enogen in their farms. So what does it do if the corn sort of contaminates your food grade corn? So essentially it does not have an impact on the milling side of things, on the dry or the wet milling processes. There's no impact on your yields. However, all the enzyme stays in the finished product in the various forms that you would sell it in. And that's sort of backed by this scientific study by University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and also by the North American Millers Association, who had seen the data from a similar study and had concluded the same thing, that it doesn't affect us, but it affects the customers that our products are shipped to. And that's been the case. So because of the growth of this corn in the US growing areas, there's been an increase in incidences of issues. Issues range from masa batch flour failure, tortilla dough becoming sticky in packaging, cornbread collapsing upon itself in the hot box, soupy grits and runny grits. So these are the issues that I've heard of over the last 1 year of just talking to customers. And there's pretty significant business impact. So there's customer complaints, there's loss of production, loss of customers, and customers want a more sensitive test to be able to detect this in their operations. So as a result, the testing has really taken off. This is the index volume that we have for Enogen testing for the last 5 years since the cattle feed market took off, and the testing has grown almost 4 times. And my recommendation to you would be to be aware of this concern, understand the risk and impact it might have on your operations, as operations is the first line of defense against this long-term risk to your business. So thank you for your time and attention.